Welcome back, everybody, to Late Night at the Movies on the Late Night Chat Network, your first stop for pop culture talk. I'm your host, Nico, and joining with us today, we got Julie Mack and JT. And this is Julie's pick here today, which we'll get into in a minute. This is episode 70, and she picked the movie Riddle of Fire that we will be discussing here today at length. But make sure to like and subscribe. Give us an old thumbs up button there. Check out some of our other content here on the Late Night at the Movies. We also do trailer reaction videos. We also have been doing more themed episodes. We just put out our last theme episode, our first one, really, for top 5 back-to-school movies we figured we'd hit you with for the month of September. And that was a lot of fun. So we're going to be doing kind of like once a month, more theme-related episodes, more movie discussion type stuff. As well as once a month, you'll still get a video of what we've been watching. So make sure to tune in for those as well. So all kinds of movie content and other types of content here on the Late Night Chat Network. Make sure just to check out our playlist. Another show that recently just came out, actually, as well, Jay, if you want to go ahead and plug it there, is one that you and Rob, of course, another host from Late Night Chat, have been doing. If you want to talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, the weekly recap of the NFL for this 25-26 season. So yeah, usually it's weekly, but lately it's been falling bi-weekly, but yeah, we try to keep you guys posted with that right through to the playoffs, hopefully. So
and hopefully you're gonna start getting at some Jays playoffs talk here, hopefully by next episode as well, because they start this Saturday, I believe, is the first game, if I'm not mistaken, right? So at the time of this recording. So
yeah,
make sure to tune in for that, guys. We also cover some sports here as well, comics, all kinds of stuff. And then come the new year, me and Jay and Christina will be back talking Game of Thrones. That's right. Watching the Thrones will be back as well. So stay tuned for that. And Jay's even going to be talking about some TV stuff as well on what we've been watching videos moving forward. So make sure to check all that good stuff out. All right, Julie, take it away for your pick here today.
All right. So as these guys well know by now, I picked kind of a weird one, but it is one that it's fun. It's zany and it's fun. And no matter what they think of it, I think it was it was interesting.
Way to bury the lead. No matter what these guys, I like.
Listen, I'm just preparing myself for what I know is about to come. It's too bad. I was saying this before we started recording. It's too bad that Max isn't here because he is probably my wild card amongst the group here. That I like. He could go either way on how he feels about this movie. You know what I mean? Like this feels like it's in an in-between zone where it is kind of a you love it or you hate it. And like the reviews online are quite mixed about it. Like during my research, it's kind of polarizing. And it really does feel like people really felt hard one way or the other about it. It was like, wow, this was really, it was cute. It was fun and people loved it. Or they were like, wow, this was lacking in some areas. And like, I don't discredit those people. I get it when people, the criticisms that I've seen, and I'm like, I get it. Like it is catered to a particular audience, I think. And I'm that audience. So anyway.
I was about to say, I'm not surprised that you picked this movie at all from watching this film. This is a very Julie coded film. Honestly, this is like
real.
It really is like, and I will say before we get into discussing however we thought about the film and before you continue on with your thoughts on it, I do want to just state here that one, I love that you just have, you're just going for it with your picks. That's the way you should be making your picks on this show is not taking other people into consideration because we really want to reflect the films that you enjoy. Right. And honestly, and other than that too, it's just like, I love that you keep picking. A lot of your picks are films I have not seen and things I don't think I'd ever actually
things you wouldn't seek out.
Yeah, so like that's the beauty of this show, and that's I say all that to say that's what I really enjoy about doing this still. So yeah,
if anything, as I've talked about before on my letterbox, they do have this huge list of weird fever dream bargain bin movies from my childhood. There's a lot of picks in there. That, I mean, there are a lot of like juvenile kind of kid movies and shit. But like sometimes I'm like, oh damn, dude. Like I wonder if anybody else has ever fucking seen. Like I know other people have seen them, but it's always like, if ever I bring up these such random fucking giant tiger bargain bin movies, I'm like, nobody has ever heard of this shit. I swear to God. Anyway, so just to get into, I guess, like a quick little synopsis of what it is. It's I described it to multiple people today as Side Quest the movie. Like it is very much, it's like a fantasy movie kind of.
Yeah.
It's I think like the director even describes it as like a Neo-Fairytale, I think, if that's what he was saying about it.
And that's under the tagline. Like if you look at
Yeah.
film, he coined the phrase Neo-Fair. Yeah. No, fairy tale or fantasy. Yeah. He used the
Neo fantasy, something like that. But basically these three kids who are,
Neo-Fairytale film. Yeah.
Neo-Fairytale. Okay. These three kids, these two brothers and their friend, and they're little goblins. They get into trouble. They're a little mischievous, and they have to go on this crazy journey just because they want to play video games. Like it's a really wild tale of like, oh, just one small favor, which turns into another one, which turns into another one, which turns into another one. It's just kind of this crazy tale of like all these things that they're doing just so that they can play video games. But the storyline is they're on a quest to deliver a pie. These three mischievous children embark on a woodland odyssey when their mother sends them on an errand, and they must battle a witch, outwit a huntsman, befriend a fairy, and become best friends forever in this charming debut from directing sensation Weston Rizzulli. So that's somebody's review of it. It's a movie that I saw last year, about this time last year, actually. It was like, I think September of last year when I first watched it. And it was a movie that Miles showed me, which is, of course, no surprise probably to anybody here as well, that this is also a very Miles-coded movie. So it would have been on, movie club night at Nadine's house. It was probably like 2:00 in the morning we were watching it. It's just, all criticisms aside, it is just such a fun, silly movie to me. When I was trying to describe it to somebody earlier, it was like, it's like the live action version of a Disney cartoon adventure without the same lens of like the child's imagination or through the child's eyes. Like it seems as though the narrative and the visual aspect of it, it's all based in reality, but it is like as told as if it were like a kid's adventure movie. That's just like, it's only lacking in that component, which makes it different. And there's just so many components of this movie that feel like it's straight out of the 80s, but then it's juxtaposed with all these modern day components of like,
that's what threw me off too.
It almost like feels like it's hard to place in time because they're stealing this thing that looks like GameCube, but they all have cell phones, but they're all running around in the fucking desert unsupervised, and they have dirt bikes, but like it's modern day. Yeah. So like it's kind of, this huge juxtaposition going on with like as far as what the time frame is, but it's like it's modern day. So yeah, it's when I saw it last year, I was like, this is fun. This is a fun movie. It is a little bit longer than it needs to be, which is to its credit, or to everybody else's credit. That's one of the biggest criticisms I see online, is that it kind of drags and it's long. And I don't dispute those people that are like, this was too long. I don't find it to be, but I don't think that that's an unfair criticism. Like it's 2 hours. But yeah, I've read a lot of reviews in the last, couple of days while I was doing my research for the show, and you either love it or you hate it. That's what I've learned. Like some people are really scrutinizing it through a microscope on things that are like,
right,
it's sort of nitpicky sometimes, but like, I think it's great. I think it's charming, but I don't take offense to anybody that thinks that, it's lacking in some areas. And the other things being that it was Weston Rizzulli is the director. It was his first feature film. He's made some short films leading up to this. It debuted at Cannes in 2023, early 2023, and then it was at TIFF in late 2023, and then it had a theater run in 2024. And so yeah, it's a relatively new movie, and from a new director who there's bits and pieces of this where you can tell like he's taken inspiration from other directors and stuff. He has cited like Miyazaki as an inspiration for him as far as storytelling components. Akira Kurosawa, he also names in a couple of interviews, and I forget, there was a French director he also liked as well. So there's it's fun. That's how I feel about it. I'm interested to hear what everybody else felt.
All right.
Well,
go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead, Jay.
It was an interesting movie. Like you were just no. Wait. In the sense that I got a little confused at what the hell I was watching at first. If I was watching, like you said, a movie from the '80s, because of it first tripped me out when I seen the cell phone, which was like okay, because I was looking at this. It looked like a Lego piece that was apparently their video game and stuff.
Yes.
So
It reminded me of the GameCube, is what I thought they were doing at the beginning. And then, once you realize they all have cell phones, it like sort of knocks you back into like, oh, it's not the 80s.
But I forgot that this was actually filmed in 2023, right? So I had to, that kind of put me in a perspective of maybe what kind of budget the film was, maybe which way they were going with it, if they were messing with, the new way, like, the new age stuff and the old, like it was just part of their gimmick, and that it was like a fantasy to me. It was like for me, it was more like a,
which makes sense. Yeah, it's
it felt like I was watching Alice in Wonderland and Hansel and Gretel and fucking all those mixed in one, and because I was like, am I watching the right movie for that opening scene there with like it's got storybook titles like that you see in old like castle style text, like fairy tale
text.
Yeah,
like medieval font type and all that.
So it was like interesting to figure out where the hell this direction of this, and then all of a sudden you see masks and guns, oh my god, it reminded kind of me of being a teenager too, again, like causing trouble and just fucking coming home when the cows come home, where he got no way to get a hold of you. But no, that's another one for the book. Okay, the books. Okay.
Coming home when the cows come home. You mean when the street light turned on? Is that what you like?
Oh, that's what you meant.
No. Well, the street lights. No, but I know it's like there's something with the cows coming home. Like there is one.
That has nothing to do with. That's not the.
That saying has to do with like talking to a brick wall.
Yeah, the cows come home. That's what it is. To the cows come home.
That in the right context, though.
It's the same thing as with the street lights turning on. It's the same thing.
Tell me this movie sucks until the cows come home. That's like how you use that. It's like
you can keep complaining till the cows come home. You don't say I was out all day till the cows come home.
I was, eh?
He's taking it back. He's using it a new way.
Changing the context of it, bro.
There you go.
I'm allowed to.
And the use and the meaning, sure, whatever.
All of it.
Hey, this is a philosopher in the making, buddy.
So, how did you feel about it overall?
It was a little long, but I mean, there was some of those aspects, but it was funny, and I thought it was funny and kind of cute and little kind of, yeah. I shut the fuck up over there, peanut gallery. But yeah, no, I knew I was gonna get myself into an interesting movie after just seeing the opening scene.
How many seconds did you watch this film across? Did you see it in 7 different sit downs, or how long?
No, two.
So
it took me 2. It took me
1
2
hour at a time.
All right.
Right. So I had to, take it in. That first half, you kind of have to take it in. And then all of a sudden, the Bloodhound Gang comes in, like we're gonna,
It's a band.
I know. But you know what I mean? Like it was playing out like a fantasy Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Did you watch the right movie?
I was waiting for people to start dancing around and pulling out switchblades and stuff like that.
That's at the end.
I know, but sorry, that got me good there. But a lot of interesting things happening in this movie. Keep you kind of focused and wondering what the fuck are they going to like. What's the whole point of this? This is where I was going. Like, what was the whole point? I was trying to think of the movie until right at the last scene they say it like until everything's just it's just weird. Like it's like you don't know if they're in a dream state, if they're in a, like if it's some other dreaming or who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a fun time picking it apart, like trying to pick it apart.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so this is my first time watching this movie. I've never even heard of this movie outside of probably Julie. I think you mentioning it previous to picking it for your pick. I think you've mentioned it a while ago, maybe on one of the episodes where we talked about what we've been watching. I think you had mentioned it, or you had mentioned it at some point. I remember now that
I mentioned it then, and then I would have mentioned it after we watched Florida Project.
Okay, yeah,
as like a pairing.
Yeah. Truth be told, I liked this. I didn't love it, and you tapped into basically my main issue with it, and it looks like Jay shared that same opinion. It is too friggin' long. Like I gotta say, like I really love the. It is a fun movie. It is fun, and I like the ideas that they have in it. Like clearly the inspirations of things that inspired this film. The idea of these kids like being on a quest and stuff like that. The ideas and the style of the movie are all really great. Like, so first off, I'll get that out of the way. Those are things I really enjoyed about the movie. But then, like, narratively, the story, it did drag way too long. Like, for me personally, as soon as they went on that quest for the eggs, that went on way too long for my liking. I feel like if they really just encountered some more obstacles along the way, or like some more tasks and like that were involved. Like, and I know they kept upping the ante in terms of like what was happening to them, and then they introduced like new characters along the way. So, like, clearly the effort was made there. I just feel like that stretch of the film went on way too long. Like, you could have made this a tight hour and a half, and I think it would have, honestly, it would have been that much better for me watching it if it was not just under 2 hours of a film. Like, I really think it suffered for that reason. So I'm glad you say that that's a very common criticism about this movie. I didn't really look up reviews on it. But that was my big takeaway. Was my main dislike about it was that. Other than that, though, I think that there's a lot of like, I'd be interested to see what else this guy does, because like there was a lot of things I liked about it. Other inspirations, actually, I don't know if you came across this in the research, because I know you just briefly mentioned some of the inspirational stuff that that inspired the director that he mentioned. Mm-hmm. Things for me that I latched on to, like, that company that they get the video game from, Otomo, Katsuhiro Otomo is the creator of Akira. And like the fact that they're driving around on dirt bikes in this, I'm sure is not a coincidence. Like, I'm sure Akira is one of those things that like actually inspired this, because the fact that everything says Otomo on it, like it's a company that comes out of Dragon Ball, like Capsule Corp, mm-hmm. from Dragon Ball, which is also like, that's like like even when they pulled out their phone, on the phone, it's like a Homo industry device thing that they're using, app, like to kind of like scan people and stuff like that. So I like those little flares and those ideas and the style that
little homages to like other stuff.
Love that stuff. And I love the idea of a quest for like kids on a quest. I liked how like badass they are. That opening scene, fantastic. So there was some things I really liked about it, but it really lost me that second half. I am not going to lie. Like, it just went on too long, and I felt like, and then like even in their own admittance, it was just like the eggs almost didn't matter. Like at the end, like they got one egg out of the deal, and they're out all night, and the mother's sleeping the whole night. Like, so it's just like, I don't know. It was like a weird chain of events that happened where sometimes I was like, yeah, that's fun and that's ridiculous, and they're leaning into maybe the 80s vibes of this film, even though it takes place in today. But then there's other things I feel like you said, the juxtaposition sometimes didn't work in its favor for me as well, in that same sense, mm-hmm. where it's like, you could have just looked up this shit on your phone this whole time, but instead you just wanted to go on this quest for the egg. Like at the end, she's like, oh, there's a store that sells eggs, like right over here. I'm like, why didn't you just do that before? Right. And I get it. That would kind of kill the vibe of the kids going out on an adventure in that sense, right? But
they do complain about not having signal when they were out in the woods, but I guess when they're in town, there's not really a reason in why they shouldn't be able to. Maybe they don't have data on their phones. This is all shit that we're not supposed to ask, I guess. But like, they have cell phones for the capability to call mom when they need help, which they didn't for the entire movie.
Right.
But I guess
but at the same time, it's almost forgivable because that's more of like a product of the 80s where the parents were never in the films. They were like absentee parents in the movies.
Yeah.
You know, these kids are going out and like, you know, I don't want to spoil other pairings I have for this film, but there's other movies around that period of time where these kids go on fantastical adventures. There's no peep of the parents, or they show up at the end, or like you hear like there's one scene where they're like, oh no, what happened to my kid? And then like they're never seen again throughout the whole film. So it's just funny because it's definitely a product of its time in that sense, that the kid could be. Their excuse in this one was she was sick and she took that whole NyQuil. She like drank a whole bottle of NyQuil at one point and fell asleep.
Yeah.
But so you know, that's what I mean. That stuff's kind of forgivable. Like they're kind of leaning into some of that stuff, which I feel like if I did watch this again, I would find them more charming, like you said. But so yeah, there was some fun stuff in it. Another thing that I like too is like whenever they came across an item, it was like the Legend of Zelda where they did like when they actually like it's like a video game, right? So like whenever she came across like the egg or whatever, they'd make a noise, or like whenever they like get an item that helped them, let's say in the task, it would make a noise, right? But then, like
this is clearly inspired by kids that played D&D and RuneScape and all the like kids that played video games, like fantasy video games particularly.
Does this remind you of growing up?
It's for like getting into some shit and like being like with friends and being imaginative about stuff. Sure, absolutely. But
no, I mean like in the area that maybe she grew up in, Julie, over here.
I didn't live in the desert.
Well, that's the thing that's kind of unique to this movie too. It
was mold. It was mold. You had the forest too. I
would not be. Where are they? Are they in New Zealand in this, or what is this?
No, they're in Wyoming.
Oh, it's Wyoming.
Yeah,
so,
it's set in Wyoming, but they filmed everything in Utah.
Okay,
this is where the director grew up.
For some reason, this felt like Australian to me for whatever reason. I don't know. Like it was kind of like I don't know why I got that feeling.
No, I still got like that Western hillbilly style vibe from it. I didn't get so much Australian, right? But no, I got that type of vibe, right?
It's it's set in Wyoming. They filmed it in Utah. The director grew up in Utah. The grocery store that they filmed in was the one he used to shop at when he was a kid. The A-frame house that the kids lived at was a house that he could see from where he lived that he always thought was really cool.
What about the club? Did he used to hang out in that club too?
I didn't find anything about that. When I was doing my stuff here, there was no mention.
Apparently in the town has there.
I guess I don't.
The guard from the beginning of the film. He's like, "I party here. What are you doing?"
But that's only and that's the part that made me remember about it being a video game starting off with in the beginning. I totally went
the final boss.
Yeah.
Tipping on a 40.
That's what I mean. Like, I like the style and I like the style more than the substance in this film. I think narratively, like, it really lost me in the story. At least
it is funny.
It's like Julie said, it's charming. That's the thing. It's hard not to like. It's hard not to it's hard to dislike the film. Like, I don't dislike it. I like it. I don't love it. And it may be something I might not ever watch again, but I did enjoy watching it to talk about for the show. I will say that. Like, there was little things I would pick up throughout the movie. I just really wish it was just shorter. I just think they lost that egg thing took way too long and too much of the movie, honestly. Like that, as soon as they introduced that other gang, I was like, okay, this is going to be cool. They're introducing some new characters. And then, like, I can't tell you, like, at a certain point there, I was just really bored in that period of the film. I don't know. Otherwise, yeah, it was enjoyable. I really enjoyed a lot. Narratively, I just had some issues with it. But otherwise, yeah, good stuff.
He, just to go back to, like, inspirational stuff, he took inspiration from old American TV shows like Little Rascals, which makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah, that's I had that written down actually. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
but also that like the literature of Robin Hood and the Brothers Grimm stuff was kind of important. And there was also a board game called The Enchanted Forest that he grew up playing that had a mysterious and slightly scary quality to it that his brothers and him and his cousins they all used to play it, and it was that's something that was very relevant to his childhood that he sort of baked into his storytelling here.
Did he mention Akira at all?
No, not that I found so far.
That can't be on, like, that has to be on purpose.
I
Like,
would imagine.
why you would call it Otomo? Like, it seems very. It seems
And
like
the other, I think the game that they were going to play was called Anaxia,
okay.
or some part of either the game. What did you say? The game
Where
system
it
was
turned
called
it on?
Otomo?
The game
Otomo,
system
yeah.
was by Otomo, but it was called the Angel or something.
The
I think.
Angel, yeah. It says
Yes,
you
but
put
the
it in.
game that they were going to play or something else, some other branding type thing that was in there was called Anaxia. And Anaxia is the short film that he made before he made this movie. So that was just like another wink, but it's a wink to himself.
That's fun though. Like, it clearly they had fun making this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it looks like it was a very fun film to kind of to do, honestly. Like, and like these, and I will say the kids are really good. The kids are the youngest kid is my favorite. That kid
Jody is the best.
is my favorite
I
character
love
in the movie.
that despite him being totally unintelligible, like they couldn't understand him so bad they had to give him subtitles.
I
And they
know.
still were like, he's got to stay.
But again, very cool, funny choice for the film.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the choices that he made, like in terms of like the setup. Like,
He did have some quotes too. He had some nice.
Oh, yeah, that's
but
what I'm
the
getting-
problem was.
my quotes are all Jody's. Like, that's my
But
favorite.
yeah, see, that's the problem. I thought I was gonna find a shitload of them on because there were so many, but there's nothing on here now to go back and write because I went and actually did this first.
I know, I was
without writing
laughing
stuff
so hard
down.
about that. When I was doing my notes, I was like, JT's so fucked because he can't find any of these quotes on IMDb.
can't,
There's nothing.
Right? Because sometimes it's hard just to write. I write enough of the scenes down. Sometimes it's hard to just write the quotes too,
Yeah.
right? But there's nothing if you sit and Google it or whatever.
Yeah.
And
can't.
I don't necessarily fault you for doing that if you actually remember quotes you like and then look them up online. Like, that's an easy way of doing it, so you don't have to constantly replay the scene over and over again. I actually should start to do that more, to be honest with you, by myself, because
I learned that I had to keep going back and writing it or put the subtitles on to see
I
it.
still do it. So I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Just makes it that much longer, right?
he's great. That's my favorite character in the movie, is that Jody.
He's funny. So yeah, it's just basically like heavy nostalgia is kind of baked into this. Childhood hijinks is a big theme.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like a quest that has no end seemingly, which is just that's so video game coded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Maybe it was. No, it does. I'm just tripping out because with watching them load the marbles into the.
Those are
paintballs.
No, but the first ones, if you've seen it, they were marbles. Because remember, I put
No, they look like
on the other
marbles.
guy's head. Remember, I put it at the end.
No, I thought they were marbles too, but that's how they look like, those pellets.
They're paintballs.
They weren't marbles. Those are paintballs.
I know some of them were blowing up like that, but some of them, they were breaking. The one that broke the gnome, right? In the
Could have
beginning,
been. I don't know.
right? Because
Oh yeah, because in the factory at the
Remember,
start, it did
when
look.
he got hit in the head after when they hit the,
Yeah,
he had an actual indentation.
You're right.
Like
you're right. Actually, it was marbles sometimes, but majority of the time it was paintballs that they're using. But you're right. At the start of the film, though, I think it was marble. But they do look like that, though. The paintballs.
Yeah.
I know what paintballs look like. Yeah.
So
I just thought it was
because that was like the
I
CO2.
never thought of that.
Those are the CO2 bullets, like the capsules that they were putting into the air.
It's like an airsoft gun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember those back in growing up.
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't a big paintball person either.
Those hurt.
They hurt. Yeah, fuck that shit.
Just to run through some of my likes and dislikes, because I do have some dislikes. I always do this, but I love the soundtrack so much. Like the songs that they pick, the dungeon synth. What?
The song at the start, once they leave with that is I honestly, like, for me, they never delivered on how great that first scene was throughout the movie. Like, I was so hyped
They blew their load at the beginning, eh?
that movie. Yeah, for me personally, yeah, when that music kicks in and they're riding off on the bikes, I was like, oh man, this is sick. Like, I was like, this
Loading up.
Oh, that synthy type of music that they're playing at the start there. Yes, so sick. Yeah, you're right. Music is a great part about this. Like,
it's a good vessel for like the vibe, I think, for sure. Jodie needing subtitles is hilarious to me. I love that. Some of the dialogue is kind of cringy, but it also, like, to sort of like counter my own point about it, it does remind me a lot of how kids mimic things they hear in movies and how they hear adults talk, and they're trying to like learn how to swear and like learn independent use of language. So it is kind of like realistic, because kids are like, they do have weird dumb dialogue like that amongst themselves sometimes, so it's not necessarily unrealistic, but even some of the adult dialogue is cringe. I gotta say, I hated the song choice for the dancing bit.
oh, I like that song. You don't like that song?
I like the song. I just think it was a bad choice for the scene.
Yeah.
No, man, that kid was just breaking.
I get it. Like, after I read up about it, I am kind of an outlier with that opinion.
Like, I just really like that song. So for me, it didn't really register, but I get what you're saying.
It reads to me as creepy, like, because they're a bunch of kids dancing in front of these drunk adults. Like, I think I just read into it too much, that I was like, this is off-putting.
But that's the thing. The movie's weird in places.
It is, yeah.
Also, there's a weird kid
like dance for the
in that scene who I don't even know why he's there, and he's got like a trident.
The goblin kid that was, he was a statue.
Why is that kid there in that scene? There's no
why.
That nightclub is fucking weird. Like,
let's go to this back room, and I'm gonna make you dance for this egg.
I was like, okay, yeah, that's the only part of the movie that I'm like, okay,
it was like kind of creepy.
That's where I was like, this is too far. I think this is it.
You know what? Earlier, before we recorded, I was saying to Julie how like a lot of people were talking about like that is actually, I did see that as a review, that people were talking about the shroom vibes of this film, which I didn't really pick up on while watching it. But when you talk about some of the weird stuff that is happening in some of those scenes, I kind of get it now, if that's where they're going with it, because like, yeah, that was an odd, I don't know, that was a weird scene. You're right. It was a weird scene. Maybe you're right now with the music, actually. I just like that song. So, I mean, I
didn't really pick up on it on the first watch. It was on the second watch that I was like,
that's a fair point.
I think it's the song choice, though. I think that if there was a different song used for that particular scene, you wouldn't read into the fucking weirdness so much of these kids dancing for these drunk adults in this weird club. But it's like, it literally might just be the song choice, but the concept itself was not a great one. But I
thought they want him to start stripping on a fucking pole or something like that.
It was strange. It was kind of creepy. I totally understand when people's sticking point is that it's longer than it needs to be, and I know exactly what you mean about that egg. The part of it that is based around, we need to get this egg, there is like plot holes there. It does drag on forever because of all these things, all these hoops they have to jump through to get this egg. But it seemed to be that was the thing that they threw in to make it so that it was going to be particularly difficult. They had to get this egg. They had to go after these people, was because it was this special speckled egg. So maybe that's the detail that was important there. But it's still, I totally agree with you on that. It does drag.
For the egg as part of the quest. It shouldn't have taken so long. And then maybe along the way, there should have been some other obstacles other than the obstacles that were presented to them within the actual egg dilemma itself, right? Like, I just feel like, why didn't they veer off or like get the egg and then something else happens to them when they're going back to the egg? You know what I mean? Like, it just, for them to take half a movie just to get the egg.
Well, what the fuck is the difference between a regular egg and a speckled egg? Like, okay, yes, I see.
Yeah. It's
just the outside.
It just had to be speckled for good luck, but there's nothing. Yeah, internally the egg is the same. I think, and then the other thing that really hits for me that upon the second watch, it stuck with me. The ridiculous amount of snacks to sit down and play a video game with your friends for 4 hours. That hits so hard. What?
At the end there, when they're in
when they're setting up at the beginning, when they realize that she's put the password on the TV, when they got the system that they stole from the fucking warehouse, they got it all set up, and then the table is covered with this ridiculous amount of the variety of snacks and shit that they've got. That hits so hard for me. I can remember fucking days where Laura and I were gonna sit down and play GTA we're gonna play Vice City for 6 hours, and we would go to the fucking grocery store and buy the most ridiculous plethora of garbage to eat.
Yeah.
Before sitting down to fucking drive around in GTA for 6 hours. That hits so hard for me. That's
running people over.
Yeah, exactly.
But it hit full circle. It went full circle then for you near the end, because then they had this like whole fucking nice cake and everything on there.
Wasn't that the biggest kick in the balls too? Was like the egg was literally just the wash for the top of the pie. Like it doesn't even matter. That was so funny. I was like, what the fuck? When I was thinking about it, when they were making the pie, I was like, what the fuck do they even need this egg for?
For the glaze, for the pie. It's like they do it for apple pies, they do it for everything. So
I totally didn't even think of that. It's so funny that they only needed one egg for that.
Not even like, I guess they would have needed it for the flour, you would think.
Yeah.
No, apparently not.
It's a little too silly, that stuff that happened with this storyline. That's what I mean. Like if it was like,
I'll get a point about that later, but yeah.
I mean, and then even them laying out the candy, it was almost like in an Edgar Wright like way, like from Shaun of the Dead, where they're showing all the different supplies, they did that in this. Yeah. This is the end as well. They basically copied that, where they show
the way it was edited.
Yeah. I like that, how they're like pulling up all the gummy worms and doing this and like that's what I mean. Like
we gotta get crab legs to add to our fucking snack pile.
I'm telling you, Julie, I was 110% in up to a certain point on this film, and then it just lost me at a period. Like that's what I'm here to say. Like I was so loving the vibe and the direction of it, but then there was just like there's a certain point where I don't know, I don't know. I feel like it got too I don't know. I don't know what happened.
It became very full of itself at one point.
Yeah, exactly. Very self-indulgent almost. Like he lost himself within the actual narrative of the film. Like, see, Jay, even I'm having a hard time articulate that, because that's the one thing Jay messaged me the other day. He's like, I don't know, I'm going to articulate how I feel about this film when we talk about it. He's like, he didn't even say he disliked it, liked it. He just said, I'm like, this is a weird one, he said to me. Right?
I don't think it was a waste of time watching it. I'm not gonna say that. Like there's movies I've watched that I think are a waste of time, but I think if I don't know, maybe if I'd have to rewatch it again, I don't know if I would do that. But I'll be honest with you, at the end of the day, I'm still kind of dumbfounded on how there's so many different little things like that. There's so many little storylines going on in it. Now that you think about it more, the way you guys are talking about video games, it does play out more like an adventure sort of video game, but also like a fairy tale style, like an Alice in Wonderland or a Snow White while going out and
kind of but like it almost like didn't lean hard enough into the fantasy part in some parts of it, because I find the whole Enchanted Blade Gang thing hard to believe without any visual elements or any substance to it, other than she's just a fucking weirdo that says words to her sisters and they are hypnotized, and then there's a little sound effect. Like that's enough. That's a nice enough cue, like a sort of wink to video games, that every time she says one of these magic commands, there is like a musical cue or some kind of sound effect that goes along with that. But there's almost not enough of a fantasy element visually for them to lean into that enough for it to not come across as cringy.
Because this is an indie film, and clearly they don't have a budget.
And they don't have the budget for it. Yeah.
But then but that's what I mean. Like, why even start going down that road if you're not committed to actually having more substance to the magic of this film, or like even the idea of it? Because it had so much potential in certain areas of the film that I feel like was not, like I said, the promise of that whole intro to the movie, I just felt like was never delivered upon, like throughout the movie by the end of it. Like where eventually you're just having a good time with it. Like you said, it's charming, you're having fun with it. But I just feel like there should have been something else there, I feel like, along the journey that would have really brought this home. And it just never got there. I don't know. It's a little flawed. It's a little flawed for me, like of a film in that sense.
I think if it was the other way, like if it had reversed and that the beginning was kind of a slog and then the ending was the part that really fucking hit, that it would have overall felt a lot better.
That's a good point. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, just the start was so tough, though. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm in on this, and then I was just like, what the hell?
It's I think, and the other big complaint I saw online was that it doesn't give enough time to flesh out any of the backstory of these kids, that there wasn't enough information to be invested in them as characters was another big complaint I saw.
I don't think that's, I don't think that's important for this type of stuff.
I didn't find it to be. I was like, there's enough there. They have these little tidbits of like, oh, Alice and I got married when we were in kindergarten. There's little bits sprinkled throughout where it's like you feel some sense of development to their characters enough. But I agree with you. I don't think it needs it that much. But that was just another like repeated complaint I saw.
No, I wouldn't agree on that. I think that's probably people's expectations of what these movies are nowadays, or what they've come to expect. I don't think like you said, there was enough there between the relationship of those two characters, and then you have the youngest kid, Jody, there, who's just like the wild card character, like, which you don't really need to know anything about that guy. He's just funny.
He's just funny and cool as fuck.
And then you got a little bit even about the other girl, Petal or whatever. I thought she was an interesting character as well when she showed up in it, and the relationship between her and her mother, where I feel like by the end of it, I just felt like she proved that she's just you love busting out these bad mother movies. I don't know what's up with you in these bad mother movies, like this Florida Project, all these like
you got issues, all these
shit. Nah, my mom's cool, man.
Right? No,
that's what I was thinking.
That's what I think. But like you love these movies with fucking absentee fucking shit mothers in it. I don't know what's going on here. Like it was like
it's something that's foreign to me. I don't know. I find it interesting, I guess. Another note I just wrote down real quick to the thing about people saying it has this sort of shroom tripped kind of quality. I feel like that might have something to do with like the actual look of the film itself, like the color profile and stuff, because he shot everything on 16 millimeter film. So that might have something to do with this kind of, I don't know, this ethereal sort of quality that it has, and also with the music combined, like it just really has a certain tone to it, and that might sort of play into that sort of shroom trip thing that I did see that also. That's kind of that's it. That's what I wrote down for my likes and dislikes for the most part. Yeah, I don't disagree with that the second half of this really seems to drag, and that there was, they could tighten this up at the second half and make it a tight hour and a half. But overall, I think it's not bad for his like first entry in a feature film.
I was just about to say that I was just thinking that when you were saying that to myself. I didn't really take that into account. And I think if he's only used to doing short films prior to this, and this is his first feature length film that he submitted to Cannes, then I get it. It's almost like he had a budget finally to stretch it a bit and put in everything that he wanted to do with this movie. And I think that first time filmmakers, that is actually a very common thing. They kind of throw in everything in the kitchen sink, or they're like, I may never get this chance again, so I'm going to throw in, I'm going to do this and then do that. I'm going to put in all these scenes that I want, and they don't know how to self-edit. And I don't know if they had an editor on this film, or
the director edited his own.
There you go. There's the problem. I think there lies the problem, because I think if he had an actual experienced editor other than himself that edited this film, he may have trimmed some of the fat, I think, that contributed to this film that I think brought it down. Or like
it sounds like he had maybe, well, obviously a low budget movie. This is his first thing he's made, and it's it could have been an issue of that. Maybe they didn't have enough money to have a video editor on, but it also is it's something that I think it was his vision, and he wanted to make sure it looked that he had his hands in like how it looked. But he also said it was an incredibly difficult movie to edit because of the like working with these younger kids.
Sure.
There's a lot of flubs in the lines and the dialogues, a lot of fuck ups. And Jodie particularly would spot the lens and look straight into camera in a lot of shots, so he had to edit around all these things. And it was pretty tight getting it to what it was. But I think that it's I don't even know. Like if I had all the footage in front of me, like where would I cut some of the fat in this movie? I can't even. It would have to be during that bit where they're out in the woods at night. I just don't feel like maybe the bit where they're hunting that fucking giant deer, which is hilarious, by the way. That's clearly a fucking it's clearly like a taxidermy deer that somebody's just standing behind it and moving it. I picked up on that on the second watch. It was really funny. Like I don't think we needed all of that necessarily, but I don't think that would even help to fix that dragging on too much.
I was gonna say the woods for sure is where you would cut stuff from this film, and then I would also maybe even cut some of that club scene, honestly, at the end there.
Yeah, like we didn't need that. I guess that's like where they get that's where they have to go because that fucking chicken is. But we could have had a different avenue to getting the egg.
And then like you said, I think at this point it's almost forgivable given that it's his first full feature-length film. Given that aspect of it, I think that he shows a lot of promise as a director and as somebody who has interesting ideas, right? So I would definitely be interested to check out future films by this guy, but because this showed a lot of promise, I will say that. I think if you cut even like 20 minutes out of this movie, it would just flow so much better. Honestly, but I'm just repeating myself now. So
no, I agree with you. I know exactly what you mean.
I think they went if they went to if they just made an adventure out of going to nacho cheese.
Nacho Mamas?
Yeah. Over
Nacho
there.
Mama?
Yeah, Nacho Mamas over there. Or whatever it is. I thought it was nacho cheese or something. Yeah, Nacho Mama. If they just would have made it more, they could have made it a lot more exciting, I think. And maybe, made a whole storyline out of going and watch Nacho Mama.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a real place in his hometown. Nacho
That's
Mama.
what I was like, yeah, or this kid just trying to make a mother joke.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? Some of it I felt like was ad-lib, like just off the wing of their head too.
That was the thing too, is I read up on it because I was like, I wonder how much of this is improvised. And he said that because they had such a tight filming schedule with their permits and stuff, he really wanted to give the kids more time to improvise dialogue to make it more natural. But because of their filming schedule, they didn't really get enough time to let them fuck around and play around at all. It was like one of the things he regretted about the making of the movies. He didn't give them more time to improvise and be kids and get any candid anything out of it, some more natural stuff. The other thing being that the kid that plays Hazel is mostly a stage actor. Like he's been in a lot of plays and stuff. So he's kind of like an over actor. Like he's really expressive. He moves around a lot. He talks really loud. He talks with his hands. It's what he's been trained to do up until now, that he would have to give really like simplistic directions, like working with kids. It was on his experience of directing and working with these kids, is that he would have to get Hazel to sort of tone it down as far as the, he was like overselling it. It was a little too much, tone it down, a little quieter, a little louder, whatever. And that he had to give Jodie like challenges. He had to reward him for every day on set that he didn't spot the lens and look straight into camera on a take, that he would have to sort of bribe him with rewards to quit doing that and ruining shots.
Maybe he gave him that last scene for that reason.
Maybe.
And that
you pop off, kid, do your dance.
That's it. Put the glasses on, don't look at the camera, just do your thing.
And just do your thing, baby. Yeah, maybe. So yeah, should we get into scenes and lines and stuff? To be honest, I cherry picked a couple of favorites, and I didn't go crazy in this part because I figured that there's going to be lines aplenty.
Yeah, I didn't go too crazy either myself. I got a few really solid ones for quotes and scenes, but yeah, otherwise I didn't take too much from this either. But yeah, you go ahead. It's your pick if you want to start us off.
The one, like a part that made me laugh the hardest, and is in that opening sequence where the setup's kind of happening, when they are arguing with that cashier in the parking lot, that guy that looks like a crackhead that they just ripped off the street and put in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, you kids, whatever, and they shoot him right in the leg with that paintball gun. That is so funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that guy's such a meth head. Like that could have broken his leg.
Mm-hmm.
That killed me. The whole initial setup before they get mixed up with the enchanted blade is so nostalgic and so fun. Just kids ripping around on pit bikes, terrorizing the neighborhood with bullshit that they're up to, just like, pranking other people. Well, I mean, it's a little extreme. Like,
yeah, I don't think we'd be all riding around with
fucking ski masks on to steal. That's a little farther than I would have ever gone as a kid. But like, whatever, just kids.
That's why it was cool, though, right? Like, that's what I liked about.
They were white kids in Wyoming. They're fine.
Yeah. And then they when they first get out of the truck, when they're stowing away there in the back of that pickup truck, and they're sort of like the setting of the scene when they're on the mountain, like that setup, that's kind of where the first half cuts for me, and then from there on is where it starts to drag. But that setup when they first get to the mountain and they're like, okay, we got to follow these guys up there. And that musical cue that happens there, that song, that whole bit right there. Oh, beautiful. I love that scene.
I had, I mean, I already mentioned it, but for me, the be all end all is the first like 10 minutes of the movie before that synthy, like crazy music kicks in and they're off on the dirt bikes from them stealing the Angel Atomo system there. That just whole intro, the fact with them having the paintball guns, the having the ski masks and pulling them off while they're riding simultaneously on the bike and going into, like, you know what I mean, like riding off, and then doing the intro for like the kids and their names and all that. Honestly, that intro is just perfection for this film for me. And like I said, it never delivered, I feel like, as much as the promise did for that first little bit. But talk about sick intros to a film. It's a pretty great intro. One of the best ones I've seen in a while, honestly. Like, I was like, that was very impressive. Like, I think no matter who you are, I think you'd be in after seeing that intro to this film. That was my favorite scene. But in terms of like quotes, like I said, there's a lot of Jody lines I really liked in this. I had where he's like, I'm not cute, I'm hot. And then there's like a whole debate about whether or not you want to be cute or hot. And they're like, the kids are talking about, oh yeah, that's cute. People say that's cute or that's a good thing, right? And also, like when they steal that like weird doll, and he's like, "Oh, it's a rather chilling, ghastly doll he brought for you, Miss Sylvia." It's that weird doll, and all like the crab leg lines were fantastic. Like how they ended up with those crab legs, and then the joke kept going to the point where that what's his name, Red Eye guy, where he's like, oh, they're like, hey, what are these crab legs doing in the car? He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna cook those up later or whatever. Like he's like, yeah, he has no idea what they're doing there, but he's like, oh yeah, I brought that for us or whatever.
It even goes as far as that he's cooking them on the campfire later.
And then like the scene with what's his name, Hazel getting hammered and drinking the whole bottle of booze, that was kind of fun too. Or like
forgets the mission entirely, eats all the fucking eggs.
Yeah, but that was definitely one of those moments where like it brought in something you did not expect from like the way this movie was, where like they reel it back and be like, oh no, this is a kid that drank a whole bottle of booze, he's gonna be friggin' hammered here, right? Like it's not like, again, kind of the juxtaposition of like almost like innocent 80s film mixed with like modern day, like, okay, no, this situation is very strange and bad. What's going on here? These kids are in the middle of the woods with the strangers, and one of them's off doing magic or whatever on some quest. Like it just seems that the whole thing, I get why people are, I'm starting to get the whole shrooms thing, but it is bizarre at points of this film where you're gotta like kind of take a step back and be like, okay, like the way they're playing this film is that like this is normal, but this is some weird stuff that's happening here, and there's no parental supervision, and the only other adults in it are also weird because they're like they believe in magic or magic actually exists. That's right. Like it exists, but then it's not illustrated, I think, in a very good way. Like you said, like they don't really exhibit much other than like that woman saying those words and then being controlled, or the kid, right?
Yeah, and just having these like really intense moments where she seems to have some kind of hypnotic control over the people around her.
Yeah, Lycos or whatever he says. Like what's whatever
term? Lycos.
Yeah. So yeah, those are
it
some
sound things. Like Greek words to me.
I was gonna say
it does. That is like I think a Greek word. Yeah. That's some quotes and scenes that I had. I might have a couple more, but go ahead, Jay, if you had anything.
I mean okay. This is like I said, the whole intro where it started talking like we were going to Alice in Wonderland, right? And then all of a sudden, next thing you see is these kids with fucking ski masks on and getting into the dirt bikes, and that like you guys are saying, I'm gonna piggyback along that too, right? But then that seemed where I got that 80s vibe in that scene. But then just afterwards, when they started going in and wanting to get that video game and just planning out their stakeout and everything, they have what they. I thought that's what threw me off is that they used literally a cell phone and they just held it right, and I'm going, what kind of what's going on here? Are they we playing in like 1990 or whatever? Or are we going like I couldn't figure out at that point, but which I found was interesting, right? Like and intriguing to me. So then that's where it kind of caught my attention to keep on watching, because I was like, where is it gonna go? It's taking me. I also like that one where she's sitting on the what's her name, the little girl there,
Petal.
Petal. Was she sitting on? She looks like a real like fantasy.
Yeah, she does look like a forest nymph or something. Yeah, she's
like a gnome or something, but a young one or something. Yeah, because she's such a short at that age. But
Miyazaki stuff makes sense, actually, like that kind of stuff. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's when you see the mushrooms, and then you start to think, she's sitting on the thing trying to get them to come in for the magic. It's almost like the thing on Alice, the kid on Alice in Wonderland. Or sorry,
with the caterpillar and all that.
Yeah. So it's starting to go that way. My mind took me that way on that trip, right? Yeah. So it and then I really got interested. I thought it ended off very smoothly too, as well. Like I really liked that scene, the whole scene at the end after they go back and they get all their stuff together, and she's like welcomed into this family, like she existed there the whole time. They were like, it was like in a 24-hour period. Oh, I only slept 2 hours. The mother.
Yeah, she's like 10:30. You were only gone for like
you missed the whole day, woman.
Yeah. But this is 10:30 the next day. You know what I mean?
Like she's side-eyeing each other. Like, yeah, it's only been 2 hours.
Yeah, right. Like she went through this whole dream state at that, at nighttime. That's why I was like, is she just dreaming this? Like at one point that her kids are out doing this kind of shit because she's hallucinating.
Right. That's actually a good theory, though.
That was my question for later on. Is like, do we think the whole movie was a NyQuil fucking fever dream?
Codeine. It's the lean. It's the lean, man. To make you do it.
I was about to say, though, do we really think they could have baked that pie too? By the way, I doubt it. Like these kids, I don't know, man. I wasn't able to bake a pie. I'm still not able to bake a pie. Like these kids don't know how to bake a pie. Like, come on now. You were able to bake a pie of that caliber when you were that age, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
My mom was a baker, though. I had some,
I was about to say, but here's the thing. There's a difference. I had a Greek mother, so I did not lift a finger when it came to so that's my problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, you probably got some good pastries.
I grew up fucking making cakes and shit with my mom and making cookies with grandma. Like I fucking knew all that shit by 12.
I used to just eat them.
Yeah.
Well, I did that too.
know, I'd watch, but I'd never really take it in, right? Like, I kind of regret it nowadays. It'd be nice to be bacon like that, right? So
All of my favorite lines, anytime they refer to an adult as some kind of bastard, was fucking hilarious.
I have that written down too. Yeah. Jody.
That cashier bastard, that woodsy bastard, all of those bastard lines are funny.
Also, his use of Playboy. I love that.
Playboy is fucking funny as hell.
no, but
My only favorite Jody line that I wrote down, like a specific line, was when they first get introduced to Petal and they're trying to like work her out and figure out what the fuck she's all about, and he just looks up at her and goes, "Are you rich, girl?"
yeah.
That one fucking kills me. And my other favorite line, because it's the only F-bomb in the movie, is when Alice cuts open the soft top and they pop their heads out like fucking meerkats and they're like, "Where the fuck are we?"
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah.
I also had written down to add on to what you said about the bastard part. I have a few other quotes here. That cashier bastard said they have no blueberry pie today when Jody walks out of there. But the fact that he calls people Playboy, it was dying because like me and my friends, we used to joke, we call each other Playboy because like there's like the Lil Wayne Birdman relationship, like those guys, those New Orleans rappers, they always used to call each other Playboy, like Birdman and be like, "What's up, Playboy?" Like you do like the bird noise. Like there's these funny videos where people used to make fun of them, that they were like these cartoon animations that we used to watch online, and like it would just have like Lil Wayne like animated walking around calling each other Playboy. And if you watch the movie Baller Blocking with Lil Wayne, it's all them like young as part of Cash Money in New Orleans. Shout out to Baller Blocking. It might be a pick one day here on the channel. I love that movie. There's literally like a point where they're like stomping out some guy, and like they're all like kids, like they're in Cash Money, right? At this point. And they're like, "Playboy, Playboy, Playboy." There's like booting him. I don't know. It was like something they all used to say, I guess, in New Orleans at that time. They call each other Playboy. I don't know. I always found that fucking shit funny. So the fact that this guy was calling people Playboy in this, I was loving it. That's like
maybe it's a Midwest thing.
Maybe. I don't know. But I remember that when that Red Rye guy said he calls him Playboy. He's like, "Playboy." Like he's all like, offended by it. So I think it's just a personal thing. I got so much enjoyment out of him calling people Playboy in this movie.
Yeah.
And then also I have a couple other quotes here. The "What are you doing here? I party here. What are you doing here?" in that scene. "Put me down, Playboy," I have written here. Oh, this is actually the best line in the film, which I don't know if you guys picked up on this one. You probably did, Julie, because you've seen this a couple times. There's when he gets drunk and he drinks the booze, he's like tastes like the hot tub
water in Cabo. Yeah.
Yeah.
This kid had ever been to Cabo.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, what is this kid like who's like with his mom? Like, when is she taking him to Cabo? Like, and then obviously, if anybody knows, if you're having drinks in a hot tub, like, and it goes in there, like that's what he was referring to, is everyone, having drinks in the hot tub, right? Which is that I thought that was hilarious. And there was one actually meaningful line too that Jody busts out. I think it was Jody, where he's like, "It's okay. There's always tomorrow for dreams to come true." Was that Petal or
Petal says that?
Petal says that. I liked that when they're like all like bitching at the end about like the position that they're in when they're like, they don't have the egg and everything else, right? So I did like that, but I think that's about it in terms of.
I liked how it kind of it went back and forth too, because in that end scene too, and you find out that they are just unwanted. Instead of the cops taking them home from the club, because like the little
well, they escaped. They were
well, the little Cheech and Chong guy that he kind of looks like Cheech over there that was holding a 40 that was the security guard at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Something about hanging out at his club or whatever. So they took the kids home. They were going to take the kids home, but then they realized that this guy didn't have his ID or nothing on him, and they realized that it was the actual gang being wanted. So it was like, okay, but then it still kind of went back to that fairy tale in the sense of bringing them home, getting the thing cooked up. But then you're like, okay, now she's just going to live with them forever. I'm still kind of dumbfounded.
It is sort of like a plot hole. Like, what's going to happen?
You can stay as long as you want.
Yeah.
And then she whispers the code for the fucking TV into her into his ear. Yeah, it's the password, so he can finally hook up the system.
And it all comes back around, and we just get to play video games. Nice little bow put on it right at the end.
Maybe that's what he was. I don't know. Maybe that's where his inspiration comes from. Maybe he's a video game nerd too. Who knows,
for sure he is. For sure.
Right, to do this, to write like this, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like you can turn this into an actual video game in that sense. If you really wanted to really dive deep into it and making it real, like you can, how they're doing with TV, what they're doing with video games. They're turning them into movies or TVs and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's all like RuneScape, D&D, LARPing inspired. The whole thing is it's like an homage to that particular genre of nerd. Yeah. So
that's I mean, I thought it was interesting.
Which I'm not usually that big of a fan of. So I think using kids is the key, honestly, because I think the way that I think that because it's
at the right age too.
Exactly, but it's understandable that they are experiencing this adventure through their eyes as opposed to, you know what I mean, like adults. I think that works a lot better, having the kids being the catalyst of this kind of fantasy tale as opposed to
because the whole movie is kid logic.
Yes,
but that's what I mean. Even if you had to read the if you had to read the scenes, you had to read when you get the script.
Yeah.
As a kid, you have to read that whole thing or your parts or whatever, and it's going to play out almost like a video game too in your head, which makes them more excited about wanting to do it, right?
Yeah. No, it works. I think that was a wise choice on their part, because there's other movies that I just don't think are as good as this, that are more fantasy based with quests and this kind of stuff, because it's not kids as the protagonists in it, right? I'm less interested in that kind of thing as opposed to what they did in this movie. So I'll say that.
The reason, any genre film that's similar to this, in this particular space, they don't really get made anymore. And he talks about that in an interview I was reading. It was there's so many rules and regulations now surrounding child actors and their safety, which are needed given what's going on in the film industry, that it's harder to make a movie like this, whereas they might not be willing to, a production house or whatever, there's too much red tape maybe to make something like this. Whereas this is a passion project for him, obviously. So, as an indie filmmaker, they did everything they needed. They had stunt coordinators, the child actors, their parents were on set the whole time. It was all done up to code, but that might have been that might be a reason that this kind of genre movie is not as prevalent now, because these kids adventure movies, I don't know, you just don't find that they're getting made as much anymore. No. But I don't feel like this is necessarily a movie for kids either. This is,
by far, I think it's a little bit off from kids.
But I think the heyday of those type of films were the 80s.
Right? For sure.
And that was acceptable for kids in the 80s.
Yeah.
Right? You probably get real bullets, not fucking...
Well, that's listen, but the fact that they're on dirt bikes wearing ski masks and have
wife beaters,
I thought it was pretty extreme. I actually think that was taking it to an extent of this is as badass as we could make it starring kids, honestly.
Yeah. You don't even know if they was the kids with the masks on, with the ski masks. You never really even know that at 100%, right? Because with child safety, we don't know if they were riding the bikes. We don't want it.
In the actual scene.
But yeah, you see some parts with them riding it right in the end. But in the beginning, it was kind of okay, these guys, the way they just load, it's kids, but they load it up, they put the masks on, and they start loading the guns up, and it's look at these guys go,
Yeah, that was a thing too. It was sort of what he was hoping that people take away from what he was trying to to convey with this film is that that these kids, they're going like this sort of feel good kind of thing of going on adventures with your friends, and like the characters are confident and like skillful, and like it's just, the optimism of like living life every day.
It was
and like having childlike wonder about it, I guess.
It was cute.
Yes, like it was supposed to be kind of a carefree, spirited adventure, and I think that although it did kind of get really weird and creepy at one point, but yeah.
I mean, as always, though, from talking about it, I'm now enjoying the idea of
the conversation.
Yeah, honestly,
but like, I mean, even the director himself, he played such a dorky, like nerdy, like sort of geeky character, and a Marty guy. Like, okay, I could understand the one guy there. What was his name?
Red Rye.
John, yeah, Red Rye, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can understand his kind of character and her kind of character.
Marty's just like an idiot. He's just like a dumbass.
Yeah, he's just like the dumb brother they brought around, and carrying him with them, right?
Like, he's like, I didn't bring any shorts. He's like, you can't wear my waders. You pissed me last time.
Yeah, you pissed him last time. Yeah,
no, I didn't bring pants or whatever he says. Yeah, he's like, you shouldn't have worn shorts out into the woods, you fucking idiot.
It's like you got to bring more than one pair of clothes when you go out to the woods.
Well, also too, I was waiting for like people to play double characters in this one at one point, right? Because I started to realize it was more of an indie film where it was low budget, right? You can see just with certain things they were doing, but yeah, like. I was waiting for a character. I didn't know that was actually him until you guys brought it up today. But he was just one of those characters that it was just like, oh, we'll bring the dumb brother along, right? I mean, he would probably in the 80s say something else, but we'll just leave it at that. But it was he did, he had to throw himself in the film somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, and I, like I said, I just thought it was cute, and it went sweet, like full circle at the end. Now, who knows? Like, it's open to any interpretation I think that you want, and anybody that's actually watching this movie, or anybody that does watch this movie would, at least kind of, because it did pull me through, right? At some points I thought it wasn't going to, but then it did pull me through to watch it. That's why I don't feel like it was a waste of the 2 hours either.
Yeah, so, I think anybody that's like, anybody that's set out to watch this, my advice would be to keep an open mind and to keep in mind that it is his first feature. And that's what I would take away from it.
And also, I think your description of it being charming is the right word for it. Yeah. Like, I think that's what it is. And I think, like, I attribute that to the fact that I like so many of the choices that he made for this film. And then when you like you said, you add the fact in that it was his first full-length feature film, that's even more impressive in that sense. It's just like I said, it just it was missing just one, a little something to kind of bring it home for me, but otherwise there's still a lot of great elements and things I liked about this movie. And like I said, talking about it now with you guys has made me appreciate it even a bit more as well.
Yeah, I think it's deserving of the merit of, like, this is impressive as a first entry. Like, that's
absolutely.
Yeah. That's I can't remember. I always fuck up which is next. Is it questions or legacy?
Questions.
My only question was, do we think the whole movie was Mom's NyQuil coma dream?
I didn't even think about that, but you guys pose a good one with that. You have obviously had that same thought. Yeah, I had nothing for this category, but yeah, listen, it's possible. It really is. I mean,
I thought I also thought maybe that they somehow it automatically switched to this fucking video game. They're in the video game because they were trying to do this past.
That I didn't think of either. Like, was this the game the whole time?
Yeah, and then at the end they were just it really
combination, because there's the scene where you see her chug the NyQuil or whatever. She could have passed out. And these were the continuing adventures that they experienced through playing the video game in the living room, literally just steps away, right? Which would make a lot more sense than this grandiose, crazy adventure that they went on, right? As opposed to right? So it's possible. I mean,
it's an unanswerable question.
it really is. Yeah.
I mean, the one that did it was the NyQuil trip at because they show her halfway through the night tossing and turning. Yeah, okay,
And they
but
obviously
is
show
she,
you
is she dreaming? I'm thinking, is she dreaming this?
right.
Like her kids are on some sort of take me on your own adventure sort of thing.
The only thing I'll argue against that though is I think that was almost the only explanation they could come up with for like why she was like they could stay out all night and she would be like
Not notice.
right? Because even that's kind of ridiculous. Like,
Yeah,
like, how are you just gonna let your kids leave for the whole day? You know what I mean? Like what the hell, right? Like you know,
she had the NyQuil, she had the fucking chamomile tea, she had whatever the fuck.
no, even when we were young, they didn't let us stay. I mean, like I said, at a certain point, my mom called the cops at certain
That's
point.
what I'm saying. But then they had to like. She was clearly like delirious and like very sick, like she had a flu. Like say
they took advantage of it. The kids took advantage of it. That's really what it was. It came down to it. A shit disturber, the older one there, that Alice there. She's a shit disturber. That's why it's her Alice in her Wonderland.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Didn't think about that either. Actually, another good point now.
Just think about it.
Now you mentioned it, actually, another interesting point about all this, though, too, is now I think it just left my head because you screwed me up with saying that Alice thing. Hold on, what was I gonna say?
Mom's NyQuil dream.
Yeah. The thing about that is, though, too, is that she let the kids go out and do all this kind of stuff. And like you said, they were trusting. What I did really like about it, though, is that the kids were acknowledging how great of a mom she was and that they were willing to go to the lengths that they did in this film to do this thing.
To get a fucking egg.
Yeah. No, like I like that. And then the friend acknowledged that as much because at first like they posed it as they're trying to like manipulate her to get the code so they can play video games. But then as soon as she said, yeah, can you do this favor for me because I'm sick? They were just like, yes, mom, I'll do that. And like they went to such lengths. I thought that was actually kind of nice underneath.
Very endearing.
Yeah. I think that was nice because like it was a long way to go, clearly. For them.
Imagine the pie was just dog shit at the end, though. She was like, "This is terrible."
It looks so good.
It's one of those like fake, like, yeah, thank you.
Good. Yeah.
No, it looked really good, though. It really did.
I don't know about you guys, but I've tried to make my parents like breakfast in bed type of deal before too, and it probably was the disaster compared to like how good that pie looked, right? Like,
they get cereal if they're lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I just thought of something too when we were talking about the plot holes of like, why wouldn't you just Google where the fucking next store is to buy an egg? Because I was like, oh yeah, she's talking about how they don't have signal, blah blah blah. But they do Google how to hotwire a fucking car.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I mean. It's kind of there's some things in there where I would have I don't know, like, but then I'm gonna get into like nitpicky stuff about like such a weird film, like it doesn't make sense. But there was some stuff. The egg thing bothered me, where I'm just like, why didn't you just Google where to get an egg earlier? Like, but then it takes away from the whole quest idea of the film, right? So it's like, what I get why they didn't do it, but then why show later on that she's gonna go to the phone like any other kid we would expect to do, right? Like after the fact. Don't do that. Like, just lean into you need to find this egg. Don't show, what? We give up. Let's bust out our phones.
Yeah, the resourcefulness is kind of lost when they, consult ChatGPT to figure out how to hotwire the car.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a little finessing required on the actual the writing, but yeah. I think I've kind of beat to death the legacy at this point, but I think that is what it is that this is his first film. Having that in mind, it's impressive, and I'm looking forward to what he does next.
He looks like he's on some heavy drugs, this director, though. Like even
just kind of a weird looking guy. He's just kind of unique,
I get it, but yeah, he also looks like his eyes are. Look at his pupils, man. They're just like his eyes are wide open. Like,
maybe he made the movie on mushrooms. Who knows?
I mean, if that attributes to the whole vibe of this movie, it's even more forgivable.
Hands down, yes.
The narrative issues, honestly, the narrative issues. I'll just throw those.
Fucking, what else is there to do in Utah, man?
That's true. Yeah.
He was eating those mushrooms in the forest.
Maybe we really should have looked up some videos. If there's any videos out there of this guy talking about the film, maybe we would have got a better idea of what kind of individual we're dealing with here.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you said it perfectly, Julie. I think that is the legacy as well, because I think there's just enough here where if he were to come out, or when he comes out with this next project, as you mentioned, I would be interested in checking it out. So yeah, that's because there's enough here that I really liked. I just also, like, maybe if he continues to do stuff, maybe think of bringing some other people into the collaboration. Maybe someone to tighten up your script, or maybe someone else to edit your film, right? Like, I know some people like doing it all, like some of these guys, but
then
this could be his sort of entry into, like, making a name for himself in the film industry to get attention in that kind of way, so that he can sort of build on his.
And when you're
somebody else throw their name in,
when you're submitting films to these festivals, that is what you're trying to do. So your point, yeah, that makes sense. So, like, because if he actually gets a studio with actual backing money behind it, maybe he will be able to afford those.
Yeah, to see what he can do next with a little bit more budgetary freedom.
I just think that would have helped greatly with the movie if he had those things at his disposal. I just think that it would have turned a good movie or a decent movie to a great movie, in my opinion, if he had maybe some more backing from a studio. But that's, again, it goes right back to what you said, Julie, the charm of this film. It is an indie film, and it has those aspects of it where we're like, there's something here. There's some interesting stuff that he pulled off here. And yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But did they ever find the prince?
They did, but I don't know that they killed him. They couldn't kill him because they didn't have the bullets, because Marty forgot them because he's an idiot.
Okay.
That's, I think, how that wraps up, is that the prince of the forest is the giant deer that they were hunting. And it was there, but they didn't have the bullets, so they didn't get to kill him. That's, I think, how that summarizes. They missed their shot at getting him.
The best part where they just the kid pulls out the 3 gummy worms for just like that. Like I was like,
the distraction of that's so funny. Here,
like,
gummy
okay,
here, hold this, and then they fuck off. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this guy's just holding 3 gummy worms. Where the hell did he? Yeah.
Might as
Who
well.
knows? That could have been part of a trip too. Like, I mean, this was.
It was that guy's whole mushroom trip. The whole movie was the fucking store owner's mushroom trip. There's so many ways in which this whole movie could have been somebody else's weird dream. Movie pairings?
Kids.
Yeah. You want me to?
That's a good one. Kids. Yeah.
Little dirt. Yeah, you want to go full out, fucking rated R? Let's go.
That's a great pairing. Yeah, I'm with you. That is a weird.
First scene is what made me think of that, and then I went to a fairy tale, and I was like, okay, Alice in Wonderland. Can we pair with that at the same time?
You've been saying it all episode. That's why I'm like, I didn't have that down. Good picks.
Yeah, me either.
Good picks. Kids is a good one too. I like that. Yeah. Anything else?
Not that I could think of right now.
Those are solid though. You're getting better, Jay. You're getting better. Those are solid ones. My hat off to you.
You know?
Was it the girlfriend who helped you with those, or was that all JT?
This is all coming off my noggin, bro. From yesterday and today, I did what Julie said, and I kind of watched it closer to the end, and I watched it yesterday and today, and I finished it.
Well, there you go.
Right, that's why I didn't really write down too many of the quotes. But even AI doesn't fucking know any quotes for this guy.
I know this one was a hard one to find.
It's not a well-known film for it to have.
No, yeah, once I seen the budgets and stuff, I was like, this is maybe that's why, right?
Yeah,
like you'll have interviews from the director, you'll have stuff like that, but
we should start a new category, Jay. If your nephew was starring in this film, what part would he play? Who do you think?
Well, no, I wanted to say maybe I get him to fucking watch this one and see what he thinks, because it's got video games, it's got fucking dirt. Well, they're more scooter kids. Like, I mean, they're not like Bradford's more scooter now.
Your nephews, they both act. I forgot. Sorry. So, which one? Who do you think would be a good fit for this film?
Well, the younger one would be good for the kid with the subtitles.
Jody,
yeah. Not for any specific reason, just because he's got that cuter voice and whatever, right now. And the older one, Jacob would be good for Hazel there, because he's more of like a very extravagant when it comes to acting. He can pull off like doing his own like improv in that sense too. Like he's just always been sort of a performer since he was day one. Jordan just, you know, went along with his brother and watched it and started liking certain things, but performing wise, he's very quiet. He won't do it. He'll sit in the corner, and you know, I mean, it's where Jacob would be the one that would be this. Yeah, but the funny thing is, the troublemakers out of them both, I mean, I don't think they would be able to play it as troublemakers because one of them at least would. I know the youngest one, Jordan, would, but yeah, he can play the troublemaker for both of them. But
I don't know. He was kind of sass talking a little bit, and you got to believe, right? I mean, he had a little.
Well, you know what? The thing too is Jacob. Yeah, he's with the you got to believe he's like that, but he's always still getting these roles where he's a lot of the bullies a lot of the times, and he's far from a bully. So it's the hardest.
No, he's a
for him to play.
Otherwise, I just mean like, but this is something we're talking about now, right? So I feel like he does pull that off.
He's an actor.
Yeah, an actor. Yeah,
no, yeah, he can pull that off, but he couldn't do that in regular life, like as a day-to-day basis.
So it's hard for you to picture.
Kind of weird. What's fun about it though is you get to play the opposite of what it comes naturally to you, right?
Yeah, I think we need to bring
it makes it intriguing, right?
I think we'll have to bring this category back on the show whenever there's a kid in the movie. We're gonna be like, what role do you think your nephews would play in this?
No, that's interesting too, right? Like,
yeah, for all you guys out there, make sure to check out the movie You Gotta Believe, and then
But you know who I can play Marty over there.
Oh, for sure you could.
He's gonna put a wig on me, like one of those. Like he looks like he's got a wig.
He's already got the sunglasses. We just gotta get you a pair of tight jean shorts.
What are you talking about? It's a red rye for you, bro. You got the beard.
I got the beard going. I just
hat on. Yeah,
you have to put some plugs in me like this. You know, have some hair with the hat, the cowboy hat.
Oh, we'll just put the hat on. You don't even see. You just be like,
perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
I got the voice. Yeah, I just, I'm trying. Look. He's only got a goatee. He's got nothing on me, man.
Things I wrote down for me, I think like the perfect pairing for this film is Goonies. Because yeah, of course,
adventure, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's an adventure, and this fantastical stuff happening in that movie in a way.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like the fantasy quest aspect of it, I put Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and those are movies I don't really like love in the way that other people love. So that's why like I didn't know how much I would love the aspect of the fantasy stuff in this movie. That being said, they didn't lean into it enough to the point where I was just like not into it. Yeah. So there's
if you want to go like video game aspect towards it too, I was just thinking too, like I know it's a lot more hardcore than like but if you want to think of it like along that video, like sort of video game aspect of it, right? Fantasy video game aspect, I would think more like like a Mario Brothers sort of thing. You know, in the sense where
there's like Final Fantasy and there's like there's things like Legend of Zelda, like I said earlier, is the one that's like, because that in that game you go over any RPG really. I think that's because even Final Fantasy, like it's more like turn-based RPG. Like there's any RPG games like open world stuff, I feel is more like in line with this kind of stuff. But but I get what you're saying about but you don't know games like that, so I also I get you wouldn't really maybe have as much references for that stuff. I also put Stranger Things down, the TV show, because there is the D&D aspect of that film as well in fantasy and stuff like that, but it's not as dark as a Stranger Things, this movie. Even like when they were in trouble in this film, I never felt like a dread, like in the sense that like people are getting killed on Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
And, Julia, you actually, I just wrote these down while we were talking about it when you tapped into the Disney stuff. I did write down Robin Hood when you said that because I love Robin Hood, the Disney movie. I love an animated film of Robin Hood. It's one of my favorite movies. Whenever I tell people that or they're big fans of Disney, they find that odd. I just think because it's like one of the ones that's not an original idea that they did that most people love. Like it's like based off of obviously Robin Hood and Sword in the Stone. Of course, I love Sword in the Stone as well, which is another really good one. And they're really old ones too. That's like the old Disney animated films that they used to do with great music and great animation, though, still that hold up to this day. So I think because of the fantasy aspect of it, and like you said, Robin Hood in terms of like the some of the themes I'd say that the director probably tapped into. I'll have to say those as pairings as well. That's it.
So I have my long list as I do, each with their own justification. I wrote down, so only because I did this as a movie pairing for Florida Project, I wrote that down in here just because it does have a small element of that kind of slice of life of kids being kids type shit.
Yeah.
So there is kind of a similar vibe there for me. I wrote down The Never Ending Story.
Oh, that's a good pick. Yeah.
So not only in theme, but I feel like, and I don't want to fuck up his name here, but I think Giorgio Moroder is the guy that did the score for The Never Ending Story.
The guy from Daft Punk? Or no, that's the dude that inspired Daft Punk. Sorry.
Hold on.
Yeah. That's the dude that Moroder guy is that inspired by him. Like they're the ones that like mentioned having to work with him and stuff like
Giorgio
that.
Moroder, yeah. And Klaus Daldinger is the other guy. But Giorgio Moroder is also involved. But
I think that is the dude from, let me just check. I think that's the dude from Daft Punk, because there's that song where there's like where he's like, and then you could call me Giorgio, and it's like he's
an Italian composer, but he's got a lot of this 80s kind of synthy music. What's the story behind?
Okay, so the song that I'm thinking about on their favorite album of mine is that Random Access Memories, the one with all those songs that they did with what the hell is his name from Nerd and songs like Giorgio Moroder collaborated with Daft Punk on their 2013 song on the album Random Access Memories, appearing as the voice on the track Giorgio by Moroder. That's literally the song I'm thinking of. Sorry, that's why I'm like they clearly inspired by that guy. But yes, that's good pull, Julie.
So I think I feel like because that, particularly the Neverending Story composed soundtrack, those 80s kind of synthy stuff, a lot of the songs in which they used for this movie, because it wasn't original compositions, these were all like dungeon synth bands that they pulled songs. These were like existing songs.
Isn't a song near the end very noticeable too? What the fuck was the song at the end?
The Baby Come Back song that they danced.
That's obviously it. Yeah. No, he's talking. Are you talking about like at the end?
Yeah, I was thinking. No.
There's a needle
maybe
drop
that one where they were dancing, where he was. I don't know if it was that one or.
There is a needle drop in there, and a lot of people mentioned it online, and I just can't remember the name of the fucking song.
Look it up if you're when you're talking, yeah.
Anyway, Neverending Story, because content also, but the music really reminds me of Neverending Story's composition.
And if you guys want to hear us talk about that, me and Jay have done that movie at the movies as well. We have talked about it. I remember Jay's like, "Why the hell are we talking about this?"
I fucking love that movie, dude.
So do I. We both said that, and then like because it was kind of goofy to talk about some of the stuff that happened in that movie. But then like when we got into it, we're both like, "Yeah, we still love this movie. Like we have a lot of fond memories of that movie."
Like, nostalgic, in that sense, right? So.
I think that My Neighbor Totoro as a Miyazaki pairing kind of fits this narrative. I saw a lot of people online comparing. I mean, it's a much darker. I've never seen this movie either, so I wouldn't necessarily put this among my picks. But a lot of people online said Stand By Me also might fit.
Could.
I think
it's dark though.
Yeah,
it is darker.
I think they're just pulling from the aspect of it being like kids, like you know what I mean. Like
and there's two different groups. There's the younger group and then the older group. Rushing to find the body really at the end of the day.
Yeah, but the vibe of it, I think, is completely different than this.
Wrong. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's more meaning. I think it's got more of a meaning, a deeper meaning in that. I think Stand By Me.
That's fair. I put down Jumanji. I don't really have a justification for that one. I just feel like it's right. I don't know.
I like it.
I wrote down E.T.
Yes. Any Spielberg really from this period, the 80s, is good for sure.
I wrote down Hook.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you really are on your Robin Williams kick, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wrote down, so I got 2 on here that, so Napoleon Dynamite just feels like an indie movie that feels like it's in the same universe. You know what I mean?
There's literally a scene where he dances in that too. So I mean,
There's that. So that's one of my reasons for that. Also, I put Little Miss Sunshine down for the dancing scene as well.
I like that movie. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Same kind of
when they're
summary ending.
Is that the bus one where they're all like in a bus? Yeah.
And they're going to some childhood pageant, and there is like a weird dance scene to a song that doesn't fit, and everybody gets up. Like, it is kind of that scene at the end of this movie where they're dancing in the club feels like an homage to Little Miss Sunshine or to Napoleon Dynamite. Like, it could be any number of things, but
yeah, they're kind of like the Partridge Family in that movie, essentially.
Sort of, yeah. So I put those down on that particular note. I put down Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Just felt like a fantastical kids adventure movie. Also, I put down.
In my opinion,
that one's darker.
No, don't be surprised if I ever pick that for the show. I love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I'll fucking be there. I love that movie. I put down Spy Kids, but that does feel like it's a little out of the realm.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I put this down after the fact, after reading some fucking Letterboxd reviews that made me laugh because it hits. I wouldn't have said this, but they're right. Some people said this movie feels like Mandy if they made it for kids.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
It's such a weird shroom trip of a movie.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard it's good.
I saw it at the theaters.
Is that the Nicolas Cage movie? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
They had a re-showing of it at the Fox, I think, when and Miles and Nadine and I went to go see it, and I was high as shit, and it was so funny, and it wasn't meant to be funny.
Is it a zombie movie, or what is it? Is it a zombie movie, that movie, or am I thinking?
Hard to explain. No, it's not a zombie movie. It's like, I can't even summarize it for you. It's such a strange, it's a surreal movie. Like, it's a horror movie, but it's very surreal.
Okay. I thought it was zombies horror, but
no, it's not that. It's actually not that old. It's only from 2018. I didn't really know that.
Also, one that I saw when I was like looking up things, was a lot of, or maybe on the few reviews that I did see, was a lot of people referenced Moonrise Kingdom, the Wes Anderson movie, but I've never seen that movie. But I think that's like there's a camp aspect to that or something in that film where it's like fantastical, I think, and it has adults and kids, I think, as well, which I've never seen that movie, but I could see a Wes Anderson film pairing up pretty nicely with this movie, quite frankly. Honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, Mandy's a weird movie, but it's fun, but it's dark and it's fucking weird. But they're kind of right. Like, if they made Mandy for kids, that's this movie, kind of.
Okay.
It's yeah. I also wrote down Treasure Planet, but I'm not so stuck on that anymore. It doesn't feel quite right. I just really like that movie.
Yeah, you've mentioned it before, I feel like, as a pairing.
That's my boy. That's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's my boy.
Yeah, that is. That really is.
And I have another pairing for this, but I'm not going to tell you because it's my next pick, so I can't tell you.
Wow, you're preparing in advance for your next pick. All right, I like it. All right.
I told you I had two that I had to choose between, and it was between this one or that one, and I went with this one, and next one will be that one.
All right. I like that. Okay. So stay tuned for that for a future episode, everybody, and that'll do it for movie pairings. And is there anything else you want to say about this movie then, Julie, as we wrap up here?
Nah, I think that it's fun, and I think that people should go, if they're gonna go see it or they're gonna watch it, go with an open mind. But I won't shame anyone for having criticisms. It's fair. It's fair to say that it is longer than it needs to be. Yeah. But it's very charming, and I think if you go into it without scrutinizing it under a microscope, it's a fun movie. Kids will be kids. That's what the movie is.
Yeah, I got nothing to add to that. Well said, honestly. Yeah. There you go. So Jay, in terms of scheduling conflicts, we might have one where Jay is not available by the time we record the next episode. But even so, why don't you let us know what your next pick is? Because eventually when you do come back, if you are to miss out on the next episode, it will be this film. So why don't you go ahead and announce that here for us today, what your next pick is. And then stay tuned, guys, because like in place of Jay, if we have to bring somebody else on, or if we have to cycle to another of our picks ahead of time or something, we'll figure it out amongst ourselves. But Jay, why don't you let us know what your next pick is?
Well, I was gonna go with an old classic that's called The Party, but I think I'm gonna keep it PC, and it's a little bit too touchy of a movie to be talking about on here.
It's called The Party.
Yeah, it's a British film. It's an English film. If you look it up, it's I forget his name now, but he's basically playing a Bollywood, like an Indian actor, and it's a bunch of white people.
Oh, Peter Sellers. Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, Sellers. Yeah. So it's interesting. I don't know how we can keep it PC. Okay, so
he's doing brown face in this movie. Yeah.
I was thinking I have my elbows up t-shirt on while we're doing it, right? So
yeah, just be liberal as fuck. I see nothing wrong with this movie.
Oh, I think I'm gonna be,
Julie would have been bailing on that one. I think everybody would have abandoned my ass, but it's a classic. It really is. It really is a good movie.
All right.
Okay, it's just done. It's done as well as they could back then.
Over it. Listen, Peter Sellers is a well-known actor, respectable actor. I think you
Very
should.
well known.
Go ahead, whatever you want to do.
Sure.
That.
No, but
I've never even heard of this.
I'm gonna keep it a little bit more PC.
Yeah,
and I don't know how much more, but let's go with the Monty Python's Meaning of Life.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Oh,
yes!
Good pick.
Great pick.
So I figure we'll go with your little John Cleese and we'll do it that way instead.
Oh yeah.
Nico's like, Nico was guessing maybe Mel Brooks. He was thinking along those lines. Yeah,
it's from the same.
But it's the same. Yeah.
There's
some really good British stuff, because if you really like to watch a good British comedy or a TV show or a movie, there's so many out there. I mean,
John Cleese is the man for Faulty Towers, in my opinion. I love that show. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about this.
The Monty Python troupe is John Cleese, Terry Gilliam, Graham Chapman, Eric Idle, Michael Palin, and Terry Jones.
Terry Gilliam, yeah.
He's a great director. I love some of the films he's made.
You know what? That's funny though. I gotta say, this is I've seen those Monty Python's films, but I've only probably seen them once. So this is gonna be pretty.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't seen them many times, so this is gonna be pretty fresh for me of a watch.
Between that and like Mr. Bean, that's what we used to watch with the old man. And like,
Laura and I used to watch Monty Python when we were stoned all the fucking time. I've seen those movies dozens of times.
Oh well, I have not.
Most people were watching like Second City and stuff like that. I would have rather watched it.
Very much outside the trope of, I don't know where everybody gets the thing about girls do not like Monty Python's humor. Laura and I were watching that shit high when we were 16.
You might be.
That's how I found out. That's how I found out what my name really meant.
That's right.
In that movie.
So you're doing Life for Brian, you said?
No, Meaning of Life.
Meaning of Life.
Oh, okay. Meaning of Life. Right. Okay. Sounds
always
good.
Look on the bright side of life.
What about when he's in the thing playing the piano? Oh, no, don't even get me started.
Oh, that's fun. That is fun as hell.
You know what? I may have not seen this one actually. I've seen Holy Grail and I've seen
Life of Brian.
Yeah, maybe I haven't seen this one actually.
This one's a classic.
Fun,
1983 it came out.
I like, yeah.
All right, so I'm looking forward to that whenever we do get to talking about it. So check back with us in a couple weeks, guys. And if it's not Jay, we'll do some other pick. But we'll see what happens. I didn't know
that Terry Gilliam directed Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I did not know that.
That movie's great.
That is a fucking great film. He also did The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which I've talked about. I really like that one. And he did The Brothers Grimm, which I like also.
Well, there you have it. You're not Portuguese, man. All right, that's That's a little line from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where he's tripping.
Scared the shit out of me too, man.
That's what he literally says to him at one point.
Like,
You're not Portuguese, man.
You're not Portuguese.
Because he got his lawyer with him, right?
His lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's isn't that Benicio?
Yeah, Benicio's. Honestly, I'll just throw this in at the end here. I'm sure I'll talk about it on the next show, but the new Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, he's in that. He's so friggin' good in that. He's always good, Benicio.
I've never seen him in a role where he sucked. Never.
No, he doesn't. He never phones it in. This guy,
No.
like he always. If he's ever played a character that's been bad, it's at the fault of the person who wrote the character, not him. He kills him, man. He's great in this new movie. Anyways, all right, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode. Make sure to like and subscribe. And tune in every week. We always got some sort of movie content coming out. Check out the playlist. Thank you to Julie for picking this pick. And stay tuned to see what else, what other content we have coming out throughout the month of October. I think we also got some more Halloween-based stuff that me and Christine are going to do, like more horror-based videos we might put out there. A few ideas we're kicking around. So stay tuned for that as well. We might put that out outside of the shows that we normally do. So, yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace out.
Welcome to the show, everybody.